Hello, my name is Stephanie Tobin and I'm doing some videos on basic Excel. So if you are a beginner on Excel, the first videos that I did was to do with getting started, which is very basic. And this next video is going to be looking at editing worksheets. And you can see the sorts of things that you can find within these videos. So when you're using them, you can skip through, find something that you need and maybe have a quick look at that. And hopefully it will help you to resolve your problem at that time, whether it's work, university assignments, classes, you're looking for something, or personal life. Okay, so I hope they help, and they are a quick way, hopefully, of getting some help without having to join classes or ask a person. So let's continue.
Okay, moving on to worksheets. So we got what we're going to do here. Open up multiple workbooks. So if you want to open 2 or 3 at the same time, if they're in a sequence, that means they're together in a line. You can click on the first one, use the shift for everything in between, and click on the last one in the list, and then open them up. If it's random, you use a control key, and you can use these keys across the Microsoft Office functions and features quite a lot, as you'll find out as you go through things. Switching between worksheets, you've got the View tab and the Switch window. So it's like it is on the other here, where if you've got 2 workbooks open, you can switch between the 2 workbooks. If you're switching between the worksheets, then obviously you're just doing this. Okay, nothing more than that. Inserting rows and columns. So if you want to insert a row, if you're going across. So if we were going to, let's just bring it up a little bit. If I was going to insert a row in here, stay in the editing area, that's the numbers. You can right click and you can insert, and the row automatically goes above, so everything moves down to incorporate it. If you're putting a column in, it's the same thing. So you point down at it with black arrow, insert, and the column will move over and the one you're inserting will go in front of it. Okay, so just remember that if you're asked to do that in the exam, you're inserting, you're moving that one to the right and your new one's coming in. If you're doing a row, you'll move it. If you're inserting, you're moving that one down and inserting that above or in front again. So you could use in front for both. Just explain it and then undo. Okay, so it's editing in the grey area, they call it. Inserting and deleting worksheets. If you wanted to insert a worksheet in a particular place, just like we've just done, you would right click and use that insert, and that would insert in front of the sheet I've just right clicked on. To delete it, right click and delete the sheet. If you're just putting in a new sheet, you can use the plus at the end, and that will just put it in at the end. But if you want it in a particular place, if you right click and it will go in front of this formula practice, if I insert, okay, it jumps in front and then I can right click and delete. If you want to rename it, you can double click on it and then you could type in there whatever you want and rename it. Click away and it's named. Okay, so back to our worksheets. You can do a right click and you've got tab colors, useful if you wanted to highlight a particular sheet with red or something that you were interested in showing, and that's your color and renaming. This copy, move and right click on the sheet. So what we can do, you can move within a workbook and you can move to another workbook. So the first thing I'm going to do is just going to open up the other workbook, the link demo chart. So I've got another one open. Okay, and I'm going to switch. Remember we had this view and we had this switch window. So I'm going to switch this way now back to my Excel demo. So if I wanted to move this within this worksheet, I can just grab it and shift it along. I can move it in front of the formula practice. Grab it again and move it back to after formula practice. I can right click and I can move it this way as well. So if I'm doing a move, I don't tick the create a copy and I can just move it to somewhere in here. So I could move it so it's in front of the before the sheet formula practice. And okay, and that moves it. if I want to do a copy, I can use the same feature, and I click on the create copy, and then I could create a copy again in front of the formula practice. Now we've got 2. Notice how it has the number 2 on it. So no worksheet can have the same name. So I'll put in a 2, 3, 4, etc. If you were going to copy a sheet manually, if I click this worksheet, you hold the control key down and drag and drop, you can continue to do that, and it will continue to give it a number. So what you can do is, if you've got the same sheet and you want to duplicate it and change it only slightly, you can use that feature to do that. And then we can right click and delete. So make sure you feel okay with this sort of thing and you feel comfortable. Remember the final one, if we go right click onto the worksheet, move or copy, we can go to a different book. We're in this book, we have the option of going to a brand new book. So what might happen is you might have something you just want to send that one sheet to somebody, not the rest. So you can move it into a new book and name it. Or if you've got another one open, you can move it into that one, and you can move it or copy it depending on what you want to do. So if you're okay, and I've done a copy, there's my move, that's the one I had, and that's the sheet that's gone in. So I can go back to my Excel demo. Okay, so just have a little play with that, make sure you feel comfortable with it and everything's fine. With regard to hiding, you can right click and hide a row, and then you'll see this feature, see the little double arrow. You can either use that and drag, or you can highlight the rows around the row that's hidden. So the 4 and the 6, by right clicking and hide, it will show 5. So if you've got a number of rows hidden, 4, 5, 6 and 7 hidden, then I'd have to pick up the 8 and the 9. Oh, sorry, 3 to 8, and then unhide, and it brings more back in again. Same with the column. I hide, and then if I unhide, there it is, coming back in, or right click and unhide. Okay. Then we've got a couple of other features called find and replace and sort. And we've had these features in the Word, if you've done Word with us before. So find and replace can be used just like it is in Word on the Home tab. You've got this drop down here and the replace features there. So you can still have a word that you want to change throughout your workbook, and so you're finding a word, and it might be let's say delete, and you could replace with remove. And then if you find, you can find them all, and you can get, you know how many, you've got 2 cells it's found. You could replace them all, or you could just find next. So it will take you to it, and there it's coming up at the top, and then you can deal with it. So find and replace exactly the same as when you've used it before. And sort, if you sort I'll see if I can sort, click in here, see if we can sort this from ascending, and you can see that it's done that, and if I do it descending, it's put it all the way back again. So clicking in one area and using the sort will work. Just undo that, so we're back to where we were. And then you can see there's a go to. So Control and G will take you to a particular cell, table, and find certain things. So you might want to use that Control and G. Okay.